Hello, I'm bassist Alison Rayner.
And I'm guitar player Deirdre Cartwright.
Do you know, it's amazing. This is our 7th live show that we've put out on Blow the Fuse On Air. We also put out 2 weeks of filming, footage, vintage, archive, that's it, not vintage, archive footage. But that means this is the 9th programme we've put in. So it's great, isn't it?
And this week we've got wonderful Ian Shaw. He popped into the Vortex with us and with drummer Winston Clifford. And we recorded a really great set.
Yes,
of
we had a lot of fun. We really did. I'm not sure if we left all the laughs on, but we really, really did laugh a lot, didn't we? It was really good fun.
So thank you for continuing to watch our programmes, Blow the Fuse On Air. We've had several thousand views on YouTube, so if you're not already a subscriber, please subscribe. And thank you very much for continuing to watch Blow the Fuse On Air.
Pay paradise and they put up a parking lot with a pink hotel room and a boutique and a swinging hot spot just like the Vortex. Don't it always seem to go? You don't know what you got till it's gone. And they pay paradise, but they put up a parking lot. They pay paradise and they put up a parking lot, a pink hotel, a boutique and a swinging hot spot. Don't it always seem to go? You don't know what you got till it's gone. They pay paradise and they put up a parking lot. Hey, from a farmer, don't give me D now. Don't give me spots on my apples. Leave me the birds and the bees, please. Don't it always seem to go? You don't know what you got till it's gone. They pay paradise and they put up a parking lot. Charge the people too much moolah just to see them. Don't it always seem to go? You don't know what you got till it's gone. They pay paradise and they put up a parking lot. Make the style ahead, the screen don't slam. Big yellow taxi came and took away my old man. Said, "Follow the man." Don't it always seem to go? Don't know what you got till it's gone. They pay paradise and they put up a parking lot. Big yellow taxi. Oh. Hello. I'm very thrilled to be here for this particular episode. I think we can call it episodes because they are episodic, aren't they? With the emphasis on the epi rather than the sod. But this is Blow the Fuse On Air, and these are 3 of my oldest friends. I don't mean old as in old, I mean oldest, yeah. So leading the band, well, it's always a bit of a toss-up between, is it Damien Vadney Hinge or is it Hilda Brackett? On the electric and steam bass, it's the wonderful Ali Rayner, who has won more awards than Judi Dench recently. And playing the drums is the absolutely brilliant, effervescent, always smiling, always nut nibbling Winston Clifford over there. And somebody who was in my very first ever band at Ronnie Scott's, in fact, and then completely sacked. I don't know why I sacked you. too expensive, darling. Deirdre Cartwright playing that. I know that guitar from so many years, Deirdre Cartwright. We started with 2 Joni Mitchell lyrics, which seem very appropriate. You don't know what you've got till it's gone, and a lot of it has gone, but we're going to get it all back, and we know exactly what we've missed. So this song, I just love this song. It's all about what we should be doing, not just with ourselves, but with the world, with the planet. And it's Joni Mitchell's. It's my arrangement of Joni Mitchell's Woodstock. Hope you like it. Came across a child of God. He was walking on down the road, and I asked him, "Where are you going?" This is what he told me. He said, "I'm going on down to Yazga's farm, gonna join a rock and roll band. Gonna get back to the land to let my soul free." Said we're stardust, we're golden, and we've got to get ourselves back to the garden. Can I walk beside you? I have come here to lose the smog, and I feel like I'm a cog in something turning, Maybe it's the time of year, and maybe it's the time of night, and I don't know who I am. Life is for turning. We are stardust. We're golden. And we got to get ourselves back to the garden. Back to the garden. I asked him, where are you going? This is what he told me. Said, I'm going on down to Yaska's farm. Gonna sing in a rock and roll band. Gonna get back to the land to set my soul free. We are stardust. We're golden. And we got to get ourselves back to the garden. Back to the garden. Back to the garden. Back to the garden. Do-do-do-do-do. Oh, hey, yeah, This is a beautiful song from a brilliant musical and a film as well. A film, Upside Down Food Mixer, everybody, and a book and a play called On the Town, I think. On the Town? Yeah, and it was written by the great Leonard Bernstein, Betty Comden, and Adolph Green, and it's called Some Other Time. Where has the time all gone to? Haven't done half the things we want to. Well, we'll catch up some other time. This day was just a token. Too many words were left unspoken. Oh, well, we'll catch up some other time. Just when the fun is starting, there comes the time for parting. Oh, but let's be glad for what we've had and what is to come. There's so much more embracing still to be done, but time is racing. Oh, well, we'll catch up some other time. fun was starting. There comes the time for parting, but let's be glad for what we've had and what's to come. Didn't get half my wishes, never have seen you dry the dishes. Oh, well, we'll catch up some other time. Deirdre Cartwright.
We're going to do a piece of mine now, and we did a version of this about 25 years ago, playing in Giant Steps, which was a jazz orchestra led by Diane McLaughlin. And I wrote the piece as an instrumental, but Ian decided he would write some lyrics, and Ian was singing in Giant Steps at the time. So we did a version of this then. Now, we haven't done it with lyrics since then, so 25 odd years ago. I thought when we were going to be playing with Ian today, I thought it'd be really fun to do it again. Now, I think he may have rewritten the words, actually.
I've rewritten the words to sort of keep it up to date.
Yes, we've got a new
Times are changing.
Modern version. So this is Queer Bird.
There goes the queer bird, no feathers ruffled at all, keeping up a wingspan till it's safe to fall. Nothing gets near her, she flies too close to the sun. Far above the engines, baby's having fun. Take a brush of trouble, ahoy, clean up change too pink for a boy. Keep reminding everyone here, queen bird grinning ear to ear. Love and strength are two different things, one way up to sweep and to swing. Easy, easy, set up your day. Queer bird is having a day. There goes the queer bird, no ever ruffled at all. Keep the wingspan till it's safe to fall. Another thing gets near her, she flies too close to the sun. Far above the engines, baby's having fun. You take a brush your troubles away, a clean up change too pink for a day. Keep reminding everyone here, queer but grinning ear to ear. Love and strength are two different things, one way up, sweep, swing, easy, set up your day. Queer but is having today. goes the queer bird, no feathers ruffled at all, keeping up a wingspan till it's safe to fall. Nothing gets near her, she flies too close to the sun. Fire up all the engines, baby's having fun. Take a brush of trouble, ahoy, clean up, change too pink for a boy. Keep reminding everyone here, queer but grinning ear to ear. Love and strength are two different things. Way up, way up to swing. Easy, easy, set up your day. Queer but is having today. Angel come down from heaven yesterday. She stayed with me just long enough to rescue me. And then she told me a story yesterday about the sweet love between the moon and the deep blue sea. And then she spread her wings high over me. And she said she's gonna come back tomorrow. Yes, she is. I said, fly, oh my sweet angel. Fly on through the sky. I said, fly on my sweet angel, or tomorrow I'm gonna be right by your side. Sure enough, this one came home to me. Silver wings silhouetted against the child's sunrise. And my angel, she said unto me, today is the day that you're gonna rise. Take my hand, you're gonna be my man. You're gonna rise, and I'll take you high, high up over yonder land. I said, fly, oh my sweet angel. Fly all through the sky. I said, fly, oh my sweet angel. And tomorrow I'm gonna be by your side. I said, tomorrow I'm gonna be by your side. I said, tomorrow I'm gonna be by your side. I'm gonna be by your side. They say the neon lights are bright on Broadway. They say there's always magic in the air. stirrups right off, and you're nowhere, nowhere, nowhere. They say the people treat you fine on Broadway, but looking at them just gives me the blues. But how you gonna make some dimes when all you got is your sweet time? One thin dime won't even shine your shoes. They say that I won't last too long on Elling Broadway. I'll catch a Greyhound bus for home, y'all say. But they're wrong, I know they are. I play piano, you play guitar, and I won't quit till I'm a star on Broadway. I won't quit till I'm a star. I won't quit till I'm a star. I won't quit till I'm a star. I won't quit till I'm a star.
Well, we've really enjoyed our session here today, Blow the Fuse on Air, with the wonderful singer Ian Shaw, who's also somebody that I've known for many years. Strangely enough, Blow the Fuse started at the Duke of Wellington in London on the Balls Pond Road. We first started playing in 1989 in the back room of the theatre there. And actually, that was the first time that I remember seeing you play in. It was in the front bar of the Duke of Wellington on the Balls Pond Road in the 1980s, I think.
Oh gosh, yeah. I'd come from the comedy cabaret circuit, which was called the alternative comedy circuit. It was a backlash against Thatcher at the time. And I was working with a brilliant guitarist called Andrew Phillips. And we were called Phillips and Shaw. And we used to do sort of quasi-lyrical political songs. And that bar was so atmospheric.
Yeah.
And I loved it there. It was a place that put women at the centre of its community, which I really loved. And I just remember doing it with so many people like Lol Coxill and...
Yeah, Lol Coxill was a regular day.
Yes.
I think it was a friend of ours, Jean Clitheroe, used to run the Duke of Wellington.
Clitheroe, very much
and she
still
said,
around.
do you want to do the club here? And that's how Blow the Fuse started. But she was already putting on music in the back theatre and bar.
Yeah, we had a club night. I ran a club night like you guys did, called the Back Kitchen, in that same room. Fairground Attractions one of the first London gigs was there, and we had the Hot Doris band, comedy acts straddling into sort of music. So our great friends, Carol Grimes played there, Di McLaughlin, I remember, did a solo gig there.
Yeah,
it was just such a great atmosphere in those days, and it seems not that long ago, really, and also a century ago.
Exactly. And it's funny because I grew up in London, but you came from North Wales. You came, sounds like a vampire film.
I arrived.
Came from North Wales.
Yeah,
I knew you grew up in North Wales. And
I did that thing where I came straight to university. My dad had never heard of, in North Wales, we didn't have gap years, or we didn't go to kibbutz. Oh, maybe some of the people did go to a kibbutz. Do you remember that tradition?
Yeah.
But I just came straight to college and studied alcohol and jazz, really. I found Soho very early on, which was, my dad said, you mustn't, whatever you do, go to Soho, meaning go. I did in my youth.
Absolutely.
So I found records. I found jazz. I found Charlie Parker, Billie Holiday, Mark Murphy, Ella. And I became quite obsessed with the live scene. So for me, it was Trimmer and Jenkins, Carol Grimes. At that point, I think it was the Crocodiles band. Carol.
Yeah, probably.
And the Guest Stars.
Oh, right.
And I still have my original vinyl, which you all signed at Dingwalls, maybe?
Possibly, yeah.
So I kind of knew you from a distance before I got to play with you.
Okay, but how did you become involved in music in the first place? I mean, was it something that was always there in your life? Was it singing?
Yeah, sort of a combination of sort of school stuff. I did my grades on piano, purely classical. I used to play in local pubs when I was about 13, 14. My dad bought me a Krumar Roadrunner keyboard, touch insensitive.
My sister had one of those.
Yeah.
Which is why I told her she had to play the bass.
Oh,
it was terrible, touch insensitive.
Bernice had a Krumar Roadrunner. Girl, we that's how we started, girl. Or girl.
Or the crumb. We used to call it the crummy.
The crummy. Yeah. And I remember I moved on to what was called a Hohner string vox. Posh in Llandudno and Prestatyn, I tell you, in Flint. So that's how I kind of got. I played and sang before I even went to university, and then university totally took the wind out of my sails. I absolutely loathed it. Every bit of, the only thing I liked were the people. I didn't like I did a B-Mus, which was incredibly academic and incredibly dry, and we were sort of guinea pigs for a lot of the kind of resting professors there. So we knew that some of us knew and went along with it, and some of us knew and didn't go along with it. So I didn't really. I got into RADA, but I thought I'd be a very different human being if I'd come out of RADA, Yeah. But I started like you did. I started gigging really early in London.
But it's funny because I mean, like an awful lot of people I know. I mean, I sort of had classical piano lessons when I was younger, but for me, I always found that whole exam structure and everything, I really didn't like it. So I used to like mucking around on the piano, and then I was really taken up with pop music, and that was really the bridge for me to sort of get into sort of a sort of improvisation, if you like. I don't know whether you've found something similar, or were you quite into classical music? And
I think I was until Timmy Jones, who lived at the top of our road, gave me The Man Who Sold the World and Hunky Dory by David Bowie, and I sort of then went backwards and discovered Hendrix and discovered Floyd, sort of backwards really, which is what I did with jazz as well.
Right.
So Timmy Jones said, I've listened to this, and I remember putting David Bowie on thinking, what is this? This is everything. It's got classical influences, it's very funky, it's jazzy, it's orchestral, Rick Wakeman, Paul Buckmaster, I think it was, did some of those strings. And I just was completely fascinated by the disturbances of the pop structure song. Bowie didn't do pop structure songs all the time.
Absolutely.
But I mean, like you, started on the piano and then ended up singing, really.
Well, for me, it was glam rock. For me, it was glam rock was my route into sort of playing guitar, because I remember I sort of got into sort of prog rock and then a bit of jazz. But because I started...
Sweet and T-Rex.
So T-Rex, Mark Bolan. And so because the lines were quite simple, I used to just stay off school and try and work out by ear how to play the guitar lines.
Yeah.
So, you know, I wasn't trying to learn how to play jazz. I was just sort of trying to learn how to play Ride a White Swan or, you know, Get On or something like this.
Beautifully made albums, very simple. And they really captured Mark Bolan's whole thing, didn't they? And that jack, you know, I mean, what's not to like about that simplicity, you know?
Yeah.
And he was 3'2" and looked like an angel, you know, gorgeous.
But of course, you came to London and you've obviously really established yourself, just not in London, but also internationally as well. I mean,
well, it's thanks to David Illich from City Limits that he said jazz singer Ian Shawn. I thought, what? Really? And I was doing really kind of left field stuff there, and I'd met Carol Grimes and Jan Ponsford, Mary Fagan, Maggie Nichols.
Yeah.
And I was into the whole kind of slightly more exploratory way of vocalising, whereas now I've gone right back to song forms again, although I love all that as well. So, yeah, it was David Illich that said jazz singer, and I thought, oh, I'll give that one a go. And then Brian Blaine, our dear friend, who is now in his 91st year.
Amazing, yeah.
Oh, we love him. From then the Musicians Union, he said, I was in a band called Brave New World with Adrian York. We took this rocky, funky band into Ronnie Scott's and played there. And then Ronnie said, do you know any standards? And I said, yeah, I suppose so. I know a few. I've got some Ella and some Frank Sinatra. And he said, well, learn this one and this one and this one and this one and this one. And I learned all these songs that I'd never heard before and got to jam with Ronnie in the band, you know, John Christensen, and he was on drums. Phil Seaman. No, not Phil Seaman. I can't remember. But it was a real rite of passage, I suppose. And Ronnie's you can do anything there, any music.
Well,
you know.
The thing I always remember at Ronnie, they were so supportive of musicians as well. You could get in for a couple of pounds, and you get 30p off your first drink.
Oh yes.
And I remember sitting there in these late sets, only the room a quarter full, with, you know, someone like Horace Silver playing, you know, just amazing throughout the sort of 80s, and for me it was like sort of 80s really, and then into the 90s, you know, while Ronnie was still alive.
Did the guest stars do Ronnie's?
Yeah, we did Ronnie's, yeah. And I remember doing a couple of weeks at Ronnie's with you in the snow and ice. I remember my old Saab swinging around these, trying to get down, you know, when you could still park round there and, you know, drive through the snow and ice to get there.
That would have been 1989.
Would it?
Yeah. Or 88, 89,
Oh, right. Yeah. I know, it's a long time ago. But since then, I mean, you've sung, you've acted, many albums. I know I'm something completely obvious. But also, you're somebody who's very much used to interviewing people and doing a lot of radio shows. You've got a podcast as well.
I love talking to musicians, and through the Ronnie Scott's radio show, which is on Jazz FM and other things. I mean, everything's on everything now, isn't it? But we sit in Jazz FM as our kind of home. And there's nothing more incredible than interviewing Patty Austin or Diane Reeves or George Benson. We were talking earlier on, Winston and I, about George Benson. But I seem to talk more than I sing now. So a great friend of mine who's a wonderful keyboard player, piano player called Jamie Saphir, is a podcast fanatic. And he said, do a podcast. So we're now on our second series of Not Even Music, which is available on all platforms. Right.
Well, I should be definitely listening to that.
Will you?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, I will.
Well, you'll all be in it soon because I'm kind of 2 weeks behind. And it's just it's basically a book that I've nearly finished called Not Even Music, which it starts in the refugee camp where I'm a volunteer, and I'm a trustee of a charity there. We've been there for almost 6 years now, and it goes way back to my dad building a tree house. So I saw these guys building a restaurant, some guys from Afghanistan, from Pakistan, from Somalia, Eritrea, building a restaurant on a chemical dump in the north of France from trees, and it really reminded me of my dad building me a tree house. So that's the premise of the book and the podcast, and they go hand in hand.
Which is sort of comfort. And what's it called again?
Not Even Music.
Not Even Music.
Yes.
Well, we can't say that we didn't have a lot of music this evening. So
Yeah.
it just remains for me to say thank you so much for coming and singing and playing with us.
It's been a brilliant thing.
It's
Thank
been
you.
really lovely. And we hope to see you again for another Blow the Fuse on air. Thanks ever so much. And thank you, Ian.
Thank you, Deirdre. We love to swing, and there's no bowl and there's no keys. X of fruit. This is called Dearly Beloved. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Dearly beloved, how lovely I see. Somewhere in heaven you were fashioned for me. Angel eyes, they knew you. Angel voices led me to you. And nothing can save me, fate gave me a sign. I know that you'll be mine, shower or shine. So I'll say so clearly, dearly beloved, be mine. Dearly beloved, how clearly I see something. Somewhere in heaven you were fashioned for me. Angel eyes, they knew you. Angel voices, they led me to you. Nothing can save me, fate gave me a sign. I know that you'll be mine, shower or shine. So I'll say so clearly, dearly beloved, be mine, be mine. Dearly beloved, how clearly I see. Somewhere in heaven you were fashioned for me. Angel eyes, they knew you. Angel voices led me to you. Nothing can save me, fate gave me a sign. I know that you'll be mine, shower or shine. So I'll say, so dearly, dearly beloved, be mine. Dearly beloved, sweet beloved. Dearly, Let do that leave love be mine, 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 be mine. I'm leaving the show. I gotta go. Bye bye, bye bye. Bye bye, bye bye.